from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's coming at you. Well, actually, that's incorrect. And maybe, I'm not, believe it or not, I think that might be, it's been a while since I recorded an episode. So I apologize if you're new, or I will not be coming at you or anywhere. I don't know why that popped in my head. I guess I'm out of form. So I guess if you accept my apology, I'm not coming at you. But if I was, I would be. It would not be like a wild horse. And now I'm like, I know I've used that as an intro before when the song was actually relevant, which is wild. I've been doing this podcast long enough that I haven't listened, or that song, which may be a Katy Perry song, may not be. That's how long it's been. It's somebody like 3 years. Well, 3 years is a long time in sleep. I would guess that's not. I'd say that's 2015. Well, let's look at, I'm trying to just barely open a sleep podcast. I think it's not Wild Horse either. It's Dark Horse. And I'll be moving. I will not be moving like a horse or coming at you, unless unless it was like a situation where you called a horse over and you wanted to pat them on the nose and maybe do some, like they were going to nuzzle your hand or something. But I don't even want to put that because I'm not horse-like. I'm more of you could probably figure it out. My brain already said, no, you're like, what are those other terms? It's not a mule. It's a 3-letter word for mule or something. And I'd say, yeah, that's my style. Slow and steady. And good on turns, reliable. I'm here in a sense. I finally got to the correct metaphor because I'm here to take your burdens, whatever is keeping you like from getting some sleep, and to carry them in a sense, to distract you from the fact they're there, to keep you company in the deep, dark night. So if you're new, I'm really glad you're here. This show is very different. This isn't the first episode where I've, because the majority of episodes involve some sort of tangential mistake like this. So I'm glad you're here. This is a podcast that's very different. It's here to keep you company in the deep, dark night, take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. I'm glad you're here. And I'll explain more of the structure, but right now we've got some support. So paying for this podcast is an optional thing. Most people choose to listen to this ad-supported version. Then a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then later on, we'll be talking about our coverage of Dreaming of Newhart. So I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard. You're a nice driver. I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple ways we're able to do it for you twice a week. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and I just wanted to say thanks for being here. I hope you feel welcome. I hope you feel seen. I hope you feel like you're a part of this community just by being here, by listening, by getting cozy, by winding down, by turning the show on when you need it. The fact that I get to make this show and send it out to you is really what makes it special, and it is a community. Now, if you're that 1 out of 100 people that I've been talking about that wants to be more a part of the community, I'd love for you to check out Sleep With Me Plus. It's our membership program. It has extra content, ad-free episodes, story-only episodes, bonus episodes, all intro episodes, all-night compilation episodes, super deluxe episodes, tons of stuff, because it's built on how you listen to the show versus how most people listen to the show, which is the ad-supported show linearly. But here's the thing. Right now, it's early November, and there's never been a more important time to be a part of something positive. And if you listen to episode 1300, I'm recording this before it comes out, but if you listen to that episode, it's not just about it being early November and reminding you a part of something. I don't know. It really is part of the magic of the show is there's a community around this podcast that helps keep the show going. The podcast has a positive impact on tons of people. And if you want to be a part of that, part of all that stuff, that sounds good to you, being a part of all of those positive things, don't wait. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. And that's if you want to join in. And I know that's not every listener, but you're welcome here no matter what, right? Not everybody's in a position to support the show, and not everybody wants to. I'm just trying to get that message to that sliver of the audience that's ready and willing right now. And then we get to support it for everybody else. So if you feel like you want to get closer to the podcast, even if it's just by listening, deeper with the podcast, deeper on how you listen to the podcast, and you want to feel, particularly right now, you want to feel like you're a part of something good, think about signing up. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Mystery Bard, a lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Posty poster song sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Don't forget one more thing. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, you could sign up for the referral program if you're not in a position to support the show directly. Not only can you get access to Sleep With Me Plus just by referring people to a free podcast, and you could sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. So it's pretty simple. Like you spend some time spreading the word about the show, and you get free access to Sleep With Me Plus, and you can do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. Thanks. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. It could be thoughts, things on your mind that you're thinking about, thoughts about the past, the present, the future, thinking thoughts. It could be feelings, anything emotionally coming up for you related to those thoughts, or, left over from the day, or, feelings that are coming up. It could be physical sensations. It could be changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something. You could be getting over something. Yeah, you could be travel, changes in schedule, work schedule, guests, anything. Like right now for me, I've actually finally returned home after, this is last night was my second night at home in quite some time, and you can probably hear it in my voice, but I really slept good. Finally being in my bed with my regular, I was also very tired too, but it's nice to be home in my own bed with my own sleep routine. But the only reason I list all this stuff or even talk about what my sleep is so you're not alone. So you feel seen, maybe say, okay, this is someone who maybe could get it. Because my experience has been that not a lot of people can get it. Or they're a little bit dismissive, or they don't quite understand what it feels like to have trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep, or waking up too early, or whatever it is. And this is a podcast where I get it. I might not know exactly what you're going through, but I could probably relate to it. We're together alone here. And even if I can't relate to it, enough people listening around the world, or enough people are listening around the world, is that someone listening right now, they're kind of perking up in bed. They have a nice, welcoming look on their face. And they are really glad you're here. They've been holding a place for you because they can relate to exactly how you feel or pretty close to it. And they are so glad you're here. And this isn't something I make up. I hear from people all the time. They hope this podcast can work for you. It doesn't work for everybody, but that it can be the thing that like it was for them. They say, wow, I didn't know I was searching for something like this my whole life, but it really helped me. Or a temporary listener, oh, it really helped me through that time. And they hope that this could be the show that does it for you. Now, by the way, if it doesn't, we have a website set up, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. That has other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff on there. So if you don't like this show or it doesn't work out, check out that website. So that's one thing. What else do you need to know? Oh, also, you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a bedtime where you could get the rest you need, a place where you could get comfortable, a bedtime you could feel neutral about or even look forward to, where, yeah, you're not without any rigmarole, so that your life is more manageable. When you get the sleep you need, your life is better. And that's why I make the show. So I'm really glad you're here. A few things to know other than what I listed. This podcast, it does take some getting used to. Most people get here, they're skeptical, they're doubtful. You know, they're like, is this thing even going to work? Or you heard about it, and now it's not traditionally soothing, right? You say, well, when are you going to get to the point? How does this work? Well, I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones and pointless meanders, which means my voice is not traditionally soothing. It's more distracting and friendly. And I don't tell a traditional bedtime story. I just kind of am here talking, meandering. Later on, we'll kind of have something that's a little bit interesting, talking about dreams and Newhart. And it's something that's mildly distracting, barely entertaining, friendly, banter, mundane, boring. Those are words that don't quite fit because I hear from people, but best words I can give it. But it's kind of meant to be something you could barely listen to, like TV on in the other room. But if you've been searching for something to help you fall asleep and you've been looking for a while, you probably are frustrated, right? Or if you've been, you found this podcast through a search or somebody recommended it and now you're checking it out. All I can say is give it a few tries. That's what a lot of people have said that are regular listeners of the show. At first, I didn't like it. At first, I didn't get it. And I see that makes sense. Why wouldn't you be skeptical if you've had trouble sleeping like I have? Or if you've tried a bunch of stuff, or you say, what is this? I thought you were going to talk. I thought this was a Katy Perry, the worst Katy Perry podcast in the history of the world. And I said, well, it probably is one of the categories we'd fit into. I mean, I think the worst one would probably be because I did look up Dark Horse. It came out in 2013. So it actually came out before this podcast started getting released, but that means I probably listened to it in 2015. So that's interesting. What else do you need to know? This podcast, most people don't like it when they get here. Some people loathe it. It's a podcast you listen to kind of like background noise or chatter in the other room. So it's something, you kind of like just out of focus. You can listen to it, but you don't need to listen to it. It also doesn't put you to sleep. This is a podcast, a sleep podcast. It's been around for over 10 years. It isn't here so much to put you to sleep. There's no pressure to fall asleep with me. That's the reason the episodes are over an hour. Is because I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff, and then you just fall asleep. Or if you can't sleep, I'm here to barely entertain you, to keep you company. Like, I'm here to be your boyfriend, your boy-bae, your boy-sib, your boy-bud, your neighbor, your boy-bee, your boars, your I don't know, I forget some of the ones. Neighbor, borbee, borbur, bestie forever. I'm here to be your friend in the deep dark night to keep you company, so you could fall asleep. Or if you wake up, you say, okay, at least I got my boyfriend to listen to. Because there are people listening who can't fall asleep at all. And I'm here to keep them company, just like I'm here to keep you company. And so podcasts you don't listen to, most people don't like it. Not really here to put you to sleep, here to keep you, like you'll wake up, you'll be like, I have no idea what he was talking about. Other than him looking up the article about Katy Perry, the Dark Horse. It was middle production. Juicy J was also on the song's intro and the rapped bridge. And she's kind of like saying, hey, like the song was part of a competition sponsored and online. It was number one in Canada, the Netherlands, Poland, and the U.S. Reached top 10 in almost 20 countries. It was also in the genre of trap music, which unfortunately I have to look up because I don't quite understand. It's a subgenre hip-hop from the southern U.S. Lyrical references to trap start in 1991. And let's see, I can't go into too many details. A simple, rhythmic, and minimalistic production, synthesized drums with complex hi-hat patterns, snare drums, bass drums, and some tuned to something similar to the Roland TR-808 drum machine. And, yeah, you can read more about it. So that's Dark Horse, 2013, not 2015. I don't know. I know I did use that in the intro, probably in 2015 to 2020, somewhere 2 to 8 years after a song comes out. That's usually when it's on my radar. And where was my point? What other bad news do I have to give you if you're new? Other than it takes some time to get used to, other than the structure's different, other than I go off topic and never get to the point. Oh, structure show also throws people off, so I'll explain to you the structure of the show, why it's structured the way it is, and kind of how you can adjust it. So show starts off, all our shows nowadays start off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And then I say something pointless or silly, so you feel seen and welcomed in. You say, okay, that's a podcast I could check out. It kind of, I don't know, somewhat sounds like not bad. So maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. I just feel like when I just said sounds like not bad, I sounded like Greg from I can't say that word, Succession, but not like only I embodied it, but I don't think I could get it back. I think it was more my verbal or my way I was emoting with my hands, which you can't see because I'm putting, well, you could unless I hit the mic by accident, but that would get edited out anyway. Okay, so structure show starts off the greeting, feel seen and welcomed in. Then there's a sponsor support. So the show could be free or paying for it is optional. Most people like listening to this sponsor support version linearly. But if you prefer something ad-free, you could get that on Sleep With Me Plus. Then there's a long meandering intro separate from the support. That's about 10 to 20 minutes long, where I inefficiently explain what the podcast is. But I follow a familiar structure every time. Every time I try to explain what the podcast is, and it takes me 10 to 20 minutes. But every time I kind of go off topic or talk about something different or whatever. And the intro isn't just to introduce the podcast, it's to give you a buffer or a wind down. Like a landing from the day, right? Because, I don't know, for most people, myself included, having a wind down or a bedtime routine is what really works. So you could listen while you're getting ready for bed, while you're doing a chill activity, or while you're in bed getting comfortable, while you're winding down. So it's a wind down part of the show. The intro goes on and on and on to ease you into bedtime. If you prefer just the stories of the show, check out Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me in all podcast apps. That just has stories from the show. Then there'll be our bedtime story. Tonight will be an episode of Dreaming in Newhart where we talk about Robert Hartley's dreams. Robert Hartley was someone who dreamed of being an innkeeper in Vermont. And so we kind of go through what Robert's dreams were, which were being an innkeeper in Vermont, like famously portrayed in the TV show Newhart. And then we kind of look into the dreams, and then we talk about what Robert's day or week was like as Robert Hartley. And we usually get a kick out of it because it's kind of like after we've already analyzed the dreams, it's pretty funny to hear what his regular week was like and to see, like, if it could be different structurally, it'd be too front-loaded, right? We'd say, oh, Bob, that's interesting. You dreamed about that after your week was like that. So it's kind of, I don't know. This is a structure we've been doing. And so that's the structure of the show. I kind of listed why I make the show. I'm really glad you're here. I really appreciate you checking the show out and coming by. I work really hard on this podcast. So do a bunch of other people. And you're in a strive. We really hope we can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do this for free twice a week. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this episode today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. All right, Robert, come on in. Let's sit down and go through. Did you keep a journal of recurring dreams? I know we set up these appointments now based on after you have one of these dreams or one of these repetitive dreams. So do you want to run through things? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's run through it. I don't know if I'm actually enjoying this process though, but I know I've committed to it. Yeah, Robert, I'm glad you're here, and I know it can't be easy going through these dreams in your day, but I'm sure it'll be fruitful, if not for you, for someone else out there. Okay, well, if it'll be helpful to somebody. So, like, this dream started with me. I was writing a book about glass blowing, and I was working on it, and we're going to eat, my wife and I, and, I'd taken a book about glass blowing, but I said I wasn't last night, and she said, why don't you ever say no? You're not interested in glass blowing. And I said, no, I like it, like blowing your own ashtrays, candy bowls. And I didn't even realize, like, I was talking about glass-blown animals. But it was mostly that she was saying I couldn't say no. Then Kirk came back from his honeymoon at Niagara Falls. He had gifts for us. One was for my wife, who was a snow globe of Valley Forge. I don't know if that has to do with the winner of Valley Forge, authentic recreation. Strange gift, it wasn't a pleasant thing. And I don't know, Valley Forge, and then a I Love Niagara Falls long sleeve T-shirt for George. And it was kind of in disbelief, both of us. Then Michael comes in, right? Michael Harris. Oh, we've never met him before, but and I think I've had another dream with him in it, but where I knew him. But this was the first time my wife was meeting him. He's executive producer on Book Talk. I introduced him to my wife, Joanne, and he compliments my wife in a very surface-based way. he says, it's a professional call. I've got a new idea for a television show. I want you to be the host of it. He's calling me Dick, right? My dream name, my dream wife, now my dream job. And I don't say no. I'm not, like, my wife's again, like, you never say no about anything. But I don't want to do it to, I was really good on Book Talk, a show they had me as a guest on. And he says, just come on down. You don't have to, you can say no when you can. And my wife says, why don't you ever listen? So we're going back. I'm trying to say no. Now everybody's trying to get me to say yes. And he says, what time do you want me to come by? I say that. What time do you want me to come by? He says, anytime, but 3:30 works for me. Then Stephanie comes in, and her and Michael have never met, and they're kind of awestruck at each other. Stephanie, Michael Harris is Stephanie Vanderkellen. How do you do? Michael's a producer of a TV show, Book Talk. I've been a producer for 3 years and 4 days. And Stephanie says, oh, are you married? She says, your wife and children must be proud of you. Not married. Interesting. Stephanie kind of works at the inn. She says, barely work. And I have nice afternoons and weekends free. And he asks her out for a Manhattan. She says, take me to Manhattan. And, I don't know, love at first sight. So he says, I'll see you at 3:30. And then they set a date, and then Michael heads out. And Stephanie's very happy about meeting Michael. Everything I've been looking for. Very good looking, successful, young. Can't believe it. She's really, she says, suddenly my whole life is falling into place. Meant to be. What was his name again, though? Then we go down to WPIV TV, Channel 8. And there's a woman cooking. They're filming a cooking show, Pearl's Kitchen. As Michael's giving me a tour, she's filming her show, or it's live. Chopped onions, carrots. She's not happy about us talking while she's filming her show, which is definitely unprofessional. And I'm the one that says, Michael, she's on the air. And Pearl's commenting on her show about people talking. And Michael says, your show's not important at all anyway. Don't worry about it. And she says, oh, don't you two want any attention? Can you come up here and help me? And she calls me up on stage, and I say, no, thank you. I'm just visiting. And she goes, no, I want you to come up here now. So again, with this not saying no thing, she goes, come on, little chatterbox. Michael talks to me, and I'm Dick Loudon, my dream name. Is this your first time in a television studio? She asks me. No, been here before. And she goes, well, you should know to be quiet on the set when someone's filming live, by the way. Like a live stream. Sorry, I won't say another word. So I didn't plug my show. That's what Michael said. And then she goes, darn, we're out of time. She says she's going to throw bacon grease or something. This is afterwards. Pearl Ratcliffe saying ciao. And next time someone disturbs Pearl's kitchen, her whole set is on wheels, though, which was interesting. So they take down her set, and then we see my set, which is kind of homey, living room-like. It's got ferns, and I know there's a show between two ferns. There's more than two ferns on my show, but not. I guess I am betwixt ferns. Show's called Vermont Today. It's going to celebrate Vermont. Many, fascinating things. I could interview college professors, authors. It's going to be an uptown show, Michael says. And I say, well, that's the kind of show I would like to watch. But I can't be bought. And Michael, who sends me an offer, well, this is what we were talking about to start. And I say, was that for a week? He goes, no, for a year. So I didn't realize there's no money in local television. But it's going to be a classy show. You're a classy guy. We do a classy show. Then they show the logo, Vermont Today starring Dick Loudon. And I'm pretty impressed to see my name up there in big letters. Vermont Today starring Dick Loudon. They kind of show every Vermonter could be proud of. It lights, they put the lights on. It looks even better. What do you say? And I'm like, well, now I'll do it. I'm totally, swept up in the moment. Then my wife and I are eating again together, and she's asking me a lot about the show. And all I can remember is the logo. There's a logo with my name, very big name. My name's very big, honey, and Vermont Today. Everybody talks about class. She keeps saying classy. And she goes, what about the guests? When is it on? I don't know any of the details. I don't know nothing. How long a show is it? Who's going to book to get, I don't know. I don't know how often, every day, once a week. And I'm totally confused, and I'm blinking a lot and blinking. How could you take this job if you don't know anything about it? I say, I know everything about it. It's Vermont Today starring Dick Loudon, interviewing people from Vermont. Who picks the guests? I don't know. Now I'm starting to get grouchy. She goes, well, why don't you find this out when you talk to Michael? When are you going to see him again? Then Michael and Stephanie come in from a date. I said, oh, wow, well, there's a lucky thing. Michael, could I ask you a couple of questions? They're very happy. They went to a movie, but then we drove together. Seems like we're having a good time, isn't it? Yes, we're very giggly. First date and all that. But we could talk about, a lot of people are superficial. We were able to talk about sweaters for an hour and a half. We lost each other in our discussion about clothing. So Stephanie leaves the room, and she's going to change. And Michael says, don't change the way, don't change too much. Just stay the way you are. And I say, hey, can you sit down? Joanna and I were talking about the show. There's a couple details I missed. Did you mention the logo and the sign? Yeah, no. But I don't know anything about the show, dude. Well, it's a half-hour show, Sunday 4. Got plenty of good people lined up. Class on class. President of the University of Vermont, a very bright person. A sculptor. She sculpts with fish things. She makes fish sculptures. Sounds very classy. Stephanie comes down, leather on leather, all like, leather. Michael's impressed. Wait, Michael, when are we going to be in touch? Don't worry, I'll call you. Again, my wife is giving me a look like about me being passive. Then it's time to shoot our show. Then it's the first day of filming, and I meet the director. Are you nervous? No. Well, why are you wearing that coat? It's going to cause, it's not going to look good. I wish you wore a different coat. Don't worry about it. You won't look good. Also, your shirt's going to have glare on it because you wore a white shirt. All right, good luck. Have a great day. Then Joanne's there, and she says, good luck. And Stephanie's there. Everybody's there from the inn. Our handyman, George. He seems to be he's in a tuxedo too. I don't know. It's a dream, he's in a tuxedo. And everybody's on my stage. And then Michael's more interested in Stephanie, of course. And I say, how about me, man? Also, Michael wears like a sweater wrapped around, around his shoulders. He says, by the way, this is going to be a call-in show. Oh, and also your first guest, Ooh, I forgot to tell you, the president of Vermont's out, maybe next week. But we thought we could get a bigger hook this week, something more promotable. We wanted to get a big world's smallest horse we're having on this week. And I'm like, I thought this was going to be a classy show. And he says, yeah, horses, it's going to be dynamite. And go, I don't want to interview animals. And my wife says, honey, it's going to be okay. You like horses. And then they say 30 seconds. Now I'm really not happy. And everybody's talking about my coat. It's not going to look good on the air. 15 seconds. Good luck. Why did I do a live stream? We're on the air. Everybody's still on the stage as we go live. And then I sit down and they go, Channel 8's proud to present Vermont Today starring Dick Loud. And then my sign goes up. I have a clipboard I'm reading off of. Welcome to Vermont Today, show that celebrates Vermont. I'm Dick Loud. And it's a set, so there's fake windows with outside. And I tell them, yeah, this is going to be a show. We're going to have distinguished guests, really impressive stuff, classy, I keep being told. People living and working in Vermont. We want to make a contribution of Vermont culture. And, you viewers are going to be able to call in, 555-8000, whatever our area code is. You should know it by heart anyway. And then somebody calls in, but I was like, why is the phone on? Because it keeps ringing. We don't have a guest yet. And no one else. And then so I said, can you not call in, please? There's no one screening the calls or anything. How did I get myself in this? I'm like, Michael, can't you do anything about it? He's flirting with Stephanie. He steps in front of the camera. And I said, can you deal with the phone, man? Come on. And said, yeah. So I'm distracted. I said, my show's, I said, whoever out there, I'm not going to answer the phone because they don't hang up until we have a guest. And finally the phone stops ringing. Then it starts ringing again like they just called back. So then I just take it on and put it under the chair. And our first guest is somebody admired in Vermont, but representative of the fascinating guests we might have on the show. Maybe this will be a hallmark of our show, not on the Hallmark Channel. Now, this was originally the introduction for the president of Vermont, but might do just as good for this, our guest, who is impressive guest. Holy moly, I'm so proud. Jocko Braverman, the owner of the world's smallest horse. And Jocko comes in with a small horse, but and Jocko's really dressed up, fancy, Western. And he says, by the way, I'm not from Vermont, I'm from Florida. And I'm like, whoa, boy, this is not very Vermonty. Hollywood, Florida. And then Michael says, can you put the phone back on the hook so we can get the calls? And I said, dude, Michael, this guy's not from Vermont. And I'm trying to make the most of it, though. I said, let's talk about the horse. Yeah, that's why you're here, right? He goes, yeah, this is the world's smallest horse stick. What's its name? Tiny, obviously, Obs. And I said, what kind of proof you got that this is the world's smallest horse? He goes, visual proof. You're looking at a small horse. It's the world's smallest horse. And I go, I realize he's small, but usually if you say this is the world's smallest horse, you have some kind of a proof, Guinness, I don't know. The guy goes, you can't find a smaller horse. And the phone rings, and I say, okay, let me take this call. Vermont Today, and then they say put it on speakerphone. They call it a squawk box. Somebody else calls in, and they say, "Yeah, I'm calling about that world's smallest horse." What? Yeah, my horse is smaller than that horse you got on TV. And Jocko says, "Bring it on down." And the guy goes, "I'll be there in a minute. I'm on my way." And I'm like, no, we don't have time. And then Michael says, Dick, this is great. Audience interaction, improvise, man. And I say, anybody want to challenge Mr. Braverman? Bring your horses in. But you got to get here in the next 12 to 14 minutes. And the guy on the phone says, no problem. It looks like we're going to have a challenge here. A small horse off. This is classy. Audience participation. It's the kind of thing I was hoping to have on Vermont Today. I say through my gritted teeth. Phone rings again. I say, yeah, well, Vermont Today, this is Dick Loudon. Oma says, who's this? I say, Dick Loudon from Vermont Today. She goes, well, by the way, it's not the world's smallest horse. No? Yeah, no. It's lying right next to me. I'm snuggled up on my couch with the world's smallest horse. I say, okay, bring the horse down here then. And she goes, well, I don't want to wake him up, but if you're, I guess so. And then I say, okay, just in case, I'm not going to keep answering calls, but if you think you have a horse smaller than Tiny, bring him to the station before the show is over, and we'll have a horse measuring contest. I don't know. And then we have a break, commercial break, and Michael's very happy. Great start. I say, Michael, I got to talk to you. But Stephanie's at his side. And I say, hey, Stephanie, I got to talk to him about business. Michael, this was supposed to be a classy show. He goes, yeah, people love animals and horses. I want the show to have dignity. He goes, well, people are going to like you because you like animals, so that'll have dignity. And then next thing I know, I'm like, there's a guy there with a horse that's 10 times the size of Tiny, saying it's the smallest horse. And that guy says, yeah, I guess it was my TV set. Then a woman comes with a basset hound. And she says, yeah, this is the world's smallest horse. And I said, that's a dog. What are you even doing? She goes, don't I get a prize? And I go, no, that's a dog. That's a basset hound. And she has a saddle on it. And then she goes, well, I don't like your show. And I say, okay, no more challengers. But then a person comes in with a full-size horse, a very large horse. And they say, who do I show this horse to? I go, you think this is the world's smallest horse? He goes, no, this is the world's oldest horse. And I get mad. I say, I didn't ask for the world's oldest horse. She goes, that's a basset hound that lady's got. And I go, well, at least it's small. He goes, not for a basset hound, it's not. And so it's a little bit, and there's someone in the background with yet another horse that's larger than Tiny. So I go, I guess you do have the smallest horse in Vermont, at least, Braverman. So just a great job. And, yeah, thanks if you tuned in to see the president of the University of Vermont. Obviously, this is a horse. But tune in next week and keep tuning in. We'll have stimulating, interesting guests. And we're going to celebrate Vermont. But I'm steaming on the inside. So this is Dick Loudon saying good afternoon, and I'm sorry. Then they put the sign on, which is nice. And then we're trying to get the animals off the stage. Then the animals are going to the bathroom on stage, obviously. And that's it. Then I woke up, because of light, with the sign and the animals going to the bathroom. Oh, wow. Well, that's very interesting stuff there. I've been working with my assistant who's been listening. Now, I just want you to remember that my assistant is made up of artificial intelligence. So there's no reason to take anything my assistant says personally. And they've been listening and taking notes. Now, they have I've tried to encourage them to have out-of-box ideas. I've also working with them to try to simulate your dreams in between sessions. It's not technically possible, my assistant tells me. But I do know these things, I tend to hallucinate. So I'm working on creating a dream, a dreamer that dreams of your dreams. Well, why would you do that? was just interested in doing, like, it interests me, but aren't they my dreams? Well, once you share them, then I guess they become our dream. This is our time together. Oh, well, yeah, so let's get to it. And then we'll kind of go through your day too. But you could also interject if you feel like before you reveal, before we go through your day, that, if anything comes up, I would like to hear about it. Okay. Okay. So the first thing that stuck out to, my assistant was the glass blowing, you were writing a book about glass blowing. Freudian wise, maybe you want to communicate knowledge or assert control over a particular area of your life. And glass blowing is delicate and artistic process. So were you trying to shape anything fragile or intricate in your life? Now, the fact that those ashtrays and candy bowls, do those things have any significance? Habits, routines, or candy could be pleasure or rewards. Is there maybe even some vice and virtue issue? Interesting. I kind of had a mundane week. Okay, we'll just think about what was the main. I know you took notes. Jungian-wise, glass blowing could be a metaphor for transformation, raw materials refined into something beautiful, creative endeavors. Same with the book, maybe experience, wisdom. Contemporary version, maybe there's a creative outlet that requires precision and care. Are you seeking and engaging in creative activities? Or maybe sharing of knowledge. Out of the box, glass is a cultural artifact, as significant in art and daily life. Maybe there's some sort of cultural appreciation going on, utility and beauty. Maybe it's a metaphor for recycling and sustainability, subconscious concerns you're having about that. Or maybe about like transparency and fragility, because glass is transparent. I never would have thought of it. Not all glass is transparent, but is there something about transparency and communication that you feel fragile about, or that's the fragile human connection? Are you trying to tangibly explore this? Then the Valley Forge snow globe. Wow, they talk about loaded one, huh? I guess so. More full of, it's not like, I guess it was loaded with fake snow. So Freudian snow globe can be containment, miniature, controlled environment, desire to keep certain memories or emotions contained and safe, where they could be observed without risk. And Valley Forge could be struggle, perseverance, transformation, a symbol of your own struggles and challenges, or about keeping your feelings contained or managed. Jung might even see it as a contained world of the psyche, encapsulating core memories, significant historic things, maybe a reflection on your past struggles. The fact that it was a gift, that's powerful, huh? Like a gift of personal growth through adversity. Presented to your own, I don't know if I could view it that way. Well, it was a gift from Kirk in the dream. Yeah, okay. Contemporary, the gift of a snow globe, maybe how you receive or perceive support from others or recognition. Specific gift, maybe for resilience or hardship. Astrologically, Virgo's, meticulous, close attention to detail reflected in the snow globe. maybe analyzing appreciation the complexity of situations. Mercury governs communication. Maybe this could mean mental processing of historical and personal resilience. And the contained miniaturized scene in the globe might represent your ability to compartmentalize or make sense of past hardships, maybe as a gift. Like, I like that. I mean, was there anything this week that was your struggle circled around? I mean, usually it's like how you treat coworkers or your wife. Can we just keep going with the dreams for now? Okay, snow globe is a microcosm of your own world. Its shakeability might symbolize the volatility of life's situation despite appearances of containment and control. Maybe a historical legacy or personal identity. Then the T-shirt, I love Niagara Falls T-shirt. The message, manifestation of a loved aspect of your personality, natural beauty, a place with longing for adventure, escape. Or maybe someone wearing that shirt would represent that for you, embody those characteristics. And the Jungian, Niagara Falls could be the unconscious, like uncontrollable natural wonder, vast, potent, and often overwhelming. But the T-shirt embraces a declaration of embracing these powerful forces within you. So that's good. Could also be whoever wears it becomes the archetype of the explorer, or that's being gifted to them. And maybe Virgo-wise, you notice a T-shirt. Maybe you want to focus on nuances and small elements that hold larger meanings. And Mercury, again, could go back to communication and interest in others. Maybe it's an eco symbol, a reminder of the world's natural power and beauty, urging a deeper engagement with the environment. Could be also a collective memory or personal past experiences that are significant to you. The fact that the T-shirt is worn, maybe a connection to it. Anything natural in your dream? No, definitely not. Okay. Also, the name of the station, the fact you were hosting a show about Vermont. That was the next thing my assistant said. That's interesting. So hosting TV show from Freud, communication, expression, expressing your thoughts or opinions more openly, to be recognized and heard, especially with the underlying conflict of the dream of never saying no. Focus on Vermont, maybe tranquility, nature, desire for a simpler, more organic lifestyle. I mean, have you ever thought about that? Like the difference between Vermont and Chicago for you. Is it symbolic, internal, external? Maybe your personal connections, feelings about Vermont, the ideals of community or authenticity. Though I guess I see that in Chicago in reality too. Do you feel like you have that in Chicago? Yeah. Okay. The show could be a medium in the Jungian, your persona, a mask you wear, maybe to explore or communicate parts of your psyche, connected to community and nature, but getting them to a broader audience. And it could be an archetype. Vermont is an archetypal state or idea. A great mother, maybe even. A nurturing presence, focusing on growth and sustenance. Maybe reflecting your desire to connect more deeply with nurturing qualities. Anything with sustenance in your week this week. Or someone nurturing you. Didn't feel like that. Okay. Community interaction, maybe. Social dynamics, community values, societal roles, expression or outreach. So you had a show, it's a platform, reaching a larger audience. maybe Virgo, like detail organization, communicating, community engagement, maybe bridging communities. This Chicago, Vermont thing is sticking out to me, at least. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Robert. Dreams in your head. Maybe you're a cultural ambassador, bridging different communities or demographic groups, so like with your work, the uniqueness of Vermont, focusing on nature again. Maybe the fact that it's called Vermont Today might emphasize something, relevance or immediacy. I don't know. Okay, next thing was what happened on the set of the woman's show, Pearl's show, where she perceived you as being rude and talked about bacon grease. Freudian rude, you know, that's a natural idea about conflict between self-expression and social roles. Maybe you're thinking about how you're perceived. The fact that bacon grease is unusual, at least to my assistant. I mean, nowadays, too, because that definitely ruined your outfit. Consequences for speaking out or expressing yourself. It's messy, warm. So messy repercussions from your expression. Jungian could be some sort of a part of your psyche, dealing with emotions or relationships, and some sort of disconnect between your emotional needs and how you communicate them. Maybe the bacon grease is about self-sabotage or some other self-defeating behavior. Anything self-sabotaging this week, or your feelings about the consequences of not moderating or appropriately directing your expressions. I mean, again, then there was the surface message from the dream was pretty obvious, you know. At least in a dream, you don't say no, you like your assertiveness, and then you kind of want me kind of take over your dreams, you know. Well, I'm just here trying to work with you. Expression consequences, social settings, Virgos, you know, you don't want to be criticized. You're highly self-aware of how you're perceived. So it's going to amplify that. And with Mercury, maybe some sort of ongoing negotiations. Maybe it's a metaphor for consumption and waste in modern society. Any consumption or waste themes this week? Can you not point out that stuff anymore? I think it's obviously obvious enough. Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing about your week then. You know, grease or societal excess, maybe some sort of purification thing. Okay, my sister was really interested in the idea. Michael and Stephanie went on a date and talked about sweaters for 1.5 hours specifically. So, for Freudian, prolonged conversation about a specific topic, comfort, security, warmth, protection, and individual desires for that. Focus of a mundane subject during the date could be avoidance of deeper, more intimate topics in connection. Though Jung might say sweaters are symbols representing personas of the individuals that they present up front. And the long time of discussing sweaters might be an exploration of each other's external identities, or probing into the personal unconscious, but starting at the surface level, though. Maybe it's materialism, contemporary societal focus on consumerism, and personal interactions like dating, stuff like superficial consumer culture, you know. Maybe commenting on that, communication in modern relationships, but more of a deeper, more meaningful exchange. I mean, as a Virgo, maybe a lengthy discussion on a specific topic might be important to you because you appreciate thoroughness and detail, but maybe it's not an effective way of expressing your interests to facilitate bonding. Maybe sweaters could be a cultural icon or personal layers even, symbolic interactionism. Each detail discussed about the sweaters could symbolize personal traits or stories. Okay, the next one was like the fish sculptor. That someone sculpts a fish, makes sculptures of fish, right? Yeah, we'll just go with that. Okay, well, fish could be their unconscious, deeper, it's interesting, Fish, the band, is also from Vermont. I know. Ben and Jerry, too. Did you have any ever dreams about Ben and Jerry or Ben and Jerry's? Can we talk about this dream? Okay, so symbolize an attempt to shape or control deeper, possibly primitive aspects of the psyche. The fact that there's going to be an interview on TV exploring hidden truths or insights. Maybe with Jungian, the sculptor is an artist or creator. Archetype of that, overlooked parts of life into something meaningful. Medium was being sculpted. Maybe something discarded. Typically something taking what's rejected and turning it into something esteemed or valued. Maybe focusing on your own unique craft, expressions of creativity, show as a platform again. I mean, sculpting is very detailed for Virgos, and communicating intricate details. It kind of contrasts with the sweaters in a sense. Again, come back to ecology or artist commentary. Okay, world's smallest horse was the next one. I mean, holy moly. Strength, passion, small size could represent feelings of inadequacy or minimizing your own passion. The interview might symbolize your desire to explore this more deeply. Or the horse might be a Jungian archetype, natural force instincts, small size, could be constrained. But as the interviewer, you're engaging with your archetype, seeking to understand, maybe amplify in the future, I guess, because it wasn't an interview you actually did. Could be unique qualities or attentions, media, Virgo, attention to detail again, communication, we kind of talked about that. Symbolic self-perception. Is it personal, some personal trait or something that you were feeling small about or that didn't reach full potential? Okay, that's a little personal. Well, no, I was just generalizing. Is there something that came up this week about that? Please don't do it that way. Okay, well, we'll get to it, I guess. But maybe it's about exploring that, or it's a celebration of the unusual. This choice featuring the smallest horse could be commentary on extremes or unusual things, challenging what is typically celebrated. The phone ringing, incoming news, call to attention, disruption. Maybe you're losing control. Maybe the phone is a symbol. Conflict between tasks and distraction. Overload. Struggling to, be focused. Maybe your need for order. Yeah, I mean, it seems like something was just shaking things up with this phone this week. Maybe an unheard voice or issue. Or maybe a reflection on media and technology. And then the basset hound, that the woman claimed the basset hound was a horse. Could be deceit or self-deception from Freud. Basset hound is a horse. Life not meeting expectations. Anywhere where reality and expectation didn't match up. Or where there was a miscommunication of intentions or desire for attention. recognition, validation. Could be archetypes, horse and the dog. Horse is freedom, power, and nobility. Dog, loyalty, protection, and companionship. Maybe there's a conflict between your aspirations. Persona and shadow, one thing as another. Could be the way you present yourself to the world on the show versus your true aspects you keep hidden. Any vices or something. Expectations versus reality. Or sensationalism versus credibility. Could be about Virgo, your quest for truth. Or discerning truth in communication. But maybe it's like a satire. Maybe this is some sort of satirical take on media. Dressing up something mundane to make it appear more appealing. Or transformation in perception from horse to dog. Maybe we need to look beyond appearances and challenge our perceptions for a deeper understanding. But are you ready to run through your week this week? Briefly, because, yeah. Okay, I understand. Just give me your brief notes. Okay, I asked Carol at the end of the workday on a Friday to do something. It was only 3 minutes to 5. It was a 48-page report I needed typed up by Monday. She said no. She's going out on Jerry's boat and visiting her parents, and she'll be busy all weekend. And I was like, he doesn't have a boat. You're not telling the truth. She says he does. And then Jerry shows up. He shows me a picture of a yacht and tells me it's a business expense that he can write off. And I'm like, how can you even afford it? He goes, I got a business manager. And a lot of advantages, but I'll set you up with him. But I'm like, Jerry, you always give me bad ideas. He goes, no, this is a good one. He goes, he's super busy, but I call him. He says, yeah, I can meet him tonight. And this Friday I get home and I say, what's for dinner? And my wife says, Fridays you make dinner. I say, I'll order pizza. She goes, I already ordered Chinese food. Then let's go look at a sofa after. And I'm like, well, I got to meet Jerry's business manager's coming by. And the food gets delivered and it's $8.95. I'm like, that's really expensive. Maybe the tip was, maybe it was $89.50, I guess. And they show up, his business manager's named Jeff Boggs. And I'm like, I don't think I need a business manager. So I know where that's, not saying no in the dream. And he goes, yeah, I save people money, double their income, teach them about shell companies, saving money. Not everybody wants that. So if you don't want that, that's fine. Then Howard comes by. He goes, there's a Rolls Royce in your parking lot. And he says, oh, it's mine. I'll go move it. Then he goes through our expenses. He says, how much you spend? Emily says, I need $80 a week to cover all the expenses and he goes, what if I give you 60? And she says, 60? Well, I guess I could try, but I prefer 80. And I said, come on, Emily, you can do it. But then he does a reverse with me. He says, how much do you want? I said, 40. He goes, how about 50? And I already realized, and by the next day, this is not going to work. So I said, can you call my business manager? Then I have to pay for my lunch, but I'm trying to save money. Then I owe money for a gift. And they say, Jerry, how much, also this whole thing did come with this thing of is everybody making more money than me? Constant, yeah. Is everybody has better deals than me? But yeah, I said, Jerry, how much do you get a week? I only get 50. He goes, oh, well, more because I got more to do. He goes, my needs are a lot more different than yours. Goes, but why? You could always ask for more money. So I go by his office. He says, hey, he's on the phone. He says, can you get me a cup of coffee? And then I ask him for $20. And he says, what? And I said, well, I had to pay for dinner. I had to pay for this. He goes, well, you need to start using a credit card. He's parenting me. Use a credit card. Don't waste money. get receipts. So I didn't get one. And he said, I could give you $20, but I want you to learn how to control your spending. Otherwise, you'll keep asking me for 20, but I'll give you 20 this time. But here's a 50. Go get change. Make sure it's the crisp bills from window 3. Then I had to go shopping, and groceries were $10. So I asked my wife for I give her a receipt. I say, you owe me $9.24. She gives me $9.25. And we're talking about trying to stay within our budgets. And I tell her this childhood story about going to the zoo with my brother to look at the ducks. Now they would hit this mechanical feeder to get fed, kind of like that TV show. And she goes, what is the story even about? And it's like, well, I feel like a duck having to ask for my money every time, and I want out. And she says, if you want out, then just like tell them you quit. And I say, great idea, honey. I don't want to be budgeted anymore. And I say, let's go out to dinner, celebrate. We'll spend an expensive bill, get a receipt. Then the next day at work, I try to call him to quit. He doesn't answer. I try to leave him a voicemail. I go on and on too much. He only has a 15-second voicemail message. So then I say, Carol, send this guy a message, like, let him know I'm done. And then my wife's very happy about all this. She didn't seem to struggle like I did. And yeah, that was my week, which I guess, I can see in the dream. I get it. Okay, well, thanks, Robert. I'm glad we met. And, Robert, if you'll excuse me, I just want to check in with my associate. Okay, so it seems like things are going well. I'm trying to train you, though. Some things were getting a little repetitive. And then I know I've been trying to train you to, dream in between our sessions and really start to absorb what Robert's sharing with us. But every time I ask you to share that with me, you're kind of sending me stuff about this, like putting people to sleep and the sleep podcast. But what we're trying to do is create a sense of character here and treat this as real. But you keep asking me about the sleep podcast and timelessness and partnerships around that. But I want you to focus on our task at hand right now, which is Robert Hartley dreaming of being Dick Loudon, a Vermont innkeeper. And I'd like it if you could dream about those things too, or teach me how to teach you. So that's it. I hope my assistant and all of you rest well and dream well, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, this is Scoots with a message from our sponsor, Helix Asleep. And this is one of those tuck-you-in messages that comes at the end of the show. But I was thinking of a story, one November. In fact, it was this November, Helix offered an amazing deal. And you thought to yourself, I got to go to helixsleep.com/sleep and take that quiz because this bed I'm sleeping on, one, it doesn't cut the mustard. No beds cut the mustard. But it's not based on how I like to sleep, my sleep positions, my feel preferences. And Scoots has been talking for years about how much he loves his Helix mattress because he got matched with a mattress that fits how he sleeps. He sleeps on his side. He sleeps on his stomach. He doesn't want to get overheated. And he took that Helix quiz and got matched with the Helix, picked the Helix Dusk Luxe. But then I heard the call to adventure because Scoots was saying, in November, right now, when I'm hearing this, Helix is having an amazing sale, 25% off site-wide, plus 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. They have a free bedding bundle, 2 dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. So it really is time for me to go to helixsleep.com/sleep. I didn't realize it till just then. The moment I heard Scoot say helixsleep.com/sleep, and I heard about that November sale, that I said, I deserve to sail, S-A-I-L, away in an amazing mattress from November 2024 into 2025 and beyond. I deserve comfort. I deserve a mattress shipped straight to my door. I don't want to go to a store. I want to take that quiz, just like Scooter says, just like Scooter did. I mean, Scooter's been sleeping in his Helix mattress for year after year after year. He talks about how much he likes it. In fact, I could hear right now how rested he is in his voice. Without further ado, I got up, I took that quiz, I got a new mattress, and now I'm imagining myself in it so comfortable. Because who knew? I just take that quiz, I get matched with a mattress that fits me and my needs. Finally, my wishes came true. That November, which is this November right now, I got an amazing new bed, and I saved a ton of money by going to helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks and good night, everybody.